So there has been some more additional information that has come out surrounding this individual by the name of Isiah Brown. And it was like basically little small allegations of things that have come out about him, but nothing to be confirmed. And that's why I wasn't quick to jump the gun to do any kind of commentary on him until now, based on this article that was sent to me that comes from this website called kansascitydefender.com. And it was posted on March 3rd, 2022, which is ironically the day I'm recording this. And there's more information about him that has been revealed by people who actually know him. And let's just say that this guy, I'll put it like this. We already knew he wasn't a saint, based on what happened with Asia Maynard. But this guy has a history that goes back and predates what happened with Asia Maynard that definitely should put him under some type of investigation way before what happened with her. Now, the article pretty much starts off talking about Asia, but I'm skipping past all of that because we pretty much have gotten a lot of information about her. And I'm going to just jump right to the part where it talks about him. And the article, or the part that involves him, starts off by saying, who is Isiah Brown? And then it goes on to say, we spoke with numerous former friends of Isiah, including his former roommate, and here's what they had to say. And they even gave a name of the roommate. The name of the roommate was Cameron Keene. He says, first off, I wouldn't say anything. In my friend circle, we usually don't talk like this or nothing because it's considered snitching. The only reason I'm saying this is because my friend died and now this lady died. One of the reasons I'm speaking out is because I also overdosed and nearly died because of him. I was laying on the ground, barely breathing, almost dead. While the ambulance was on the way, he wasn't helping me. He was hiding the stuff. He kept selling the same pills, even after our friend died and after I overdosed. Every day I think about our friend. I can't even look his mom in the face. So based on this testimony that's coming from his ex-roommate, Isiah was giving drugs to people he knew, including his roommate, his ex-roommate, and one of them overdosed and they died. Now, they kept that real hush-hush. Now, that was one of the allegations that I had heard from this situation that I didn't jump on the gun and just start talking about because I wanted to have something concrete to go off of. But this is the testimony coming from his ex-roommate. So apparently he contributed to the overdosing of one of their friends to the point where that friend died. And this person right here who's talking overdosed as well and almost died themselves. What he's giving people is not what he's telling them. Me, him, and our friend all lived together. We were all hanging out. For this to happen again after our friend dying because of Isiah's lace stuff, for him to keep giving these to people is just no. So he's putting stuff into these drugs that people are asking for that they don't know is in them. And that's what's causing them to overdose and possibly die. So he's slipping stuff into these drugs that he's not supposed to be putting in there. He's definitely trying to make it known that nobody told you to do this. I blocked his number, but he must have gotten a new phone or something because he reached out from a new number and said that to me just a few days ago after this most recent incident. This kid, and he's referring to Isiah, me and him go back, but I had to say something. My fiance begged me to say something too. When our friend died because of him, we felt like nobody was trying to listen to what we were saying about him. Now listen to that. They said that his ex-roommate said that when he tried to tell people about this guy and his behavior, no one was listening to him. Now, I don't know what the ethnicity of this ex-roommate is, but let's hypothetically say that this roommate was PC and that the friend was PC as well. So now this person just has off the wall protection no matter what, which is leading a lot of people to believe that Isiah has some connections to the police department. And I've heard some things alleging that he is connected to those in the police department. And the same thing with that Matthew LaFontaine individual back in Connecticut in Bridgeport, who was the last seen with Lawrence Smith Fields. Now, when I've talked about when it comes to overdoses and drugs and things of that nature, it is stated that the person who supplies the drugs, who was responsible for the overdose of the person and possibly death, in this case, the friend, that the person who supplied the drugs is supposed to do jail time. But it seems to me like he slipped right through the cracks, which is leading more people to believe he has connections to those in the police department. Like he might be a relative to someone there and someone who may be pretty well high up. Somebody has to be held accountable and responsible. We lived together for a whole year. We partied and did all types of drugs together, but then he started hurting people. It's like our lives never mattered to him. Now that's the testimony of his ex-roommate. Now they're getting a testimony from an ex-friend, and her name is Mercedes Marie. I knew Isiah, went to school together. We all used to hang out with my friend Louis, who passed away because of Isiah. So now this is another person who passed. Now I don't know if this is the same friend that the ex-roommate was talking about, or if this is someone else, because the ex-roommate did not mention the name of the friend. He just said a friend. But this person, Mercedes, is mentioning a name. He is the reason why Louis is not here. I was letting the family know that he is the cause. It's not just my friend that has happened to, it's multiple friends of ours. Louis passed away from an overdose of fentanyl. He received the pills from Isiah. He is very well known in the whole Independence of Kansas City area for this. Everyone knows not to go around him and to just stay far away from him. He doesn't really care about anyone except for himself. He actually showed his face at Louis' funeral for just like 5 minutes, and everyone was shocked that he would even show his face there because he knew he did it. Now that's some grimy stuff. You went to this person's funeral knowing you were responsible for their death. You had the nerve to show up, and even for just 5 minutes, and everyone knew immediately that he was the one that was responsible, and he showed up anyway. That funeral probably would have turned into a Royal Rumble. After he had showed up, we were all questioning why he would do that to his friend. He was in denial and everything, but he told us that he was going to keep selling them because he didn't want to waste the $300 that he spent on them. Other people died from the pills after as well. Those people were mostly his friends who were older. It's just like more and more people who go around him end up dying. The police did not investigate the situation with Louis at all. He was left at a party. Everyone just left him there to die. Now, listen to that. So now I'm assuming that this Louis person is different from the friend that the ex-roommate was talking about, because, the circumstances, while the same, seem a little bit, different. And like this one, just like with the previous testimony I read, the police did not investigate at all, just like they didn't investigate with Asia Maynard either. And I would like to see an autopsy on her. I want to know what was in her system, because if they say drugs was in her system, just like with the other ones, then you have literally have a serial killer on your hands. That's what this is sounding like. This Isiah Brown person sounds like a straight up serial killer, and he's getting off on that. Listen to what the ex-friend said. He said that he went back to continue selling the pills because he didn't want to waste $300. That is some of the most disrespectful things you can say, especially after you were responsible and you knew you were responsible for this person's death. Because they're getting drugs not thinking they're going to die from it. They're getting it thinking, they're getting something that they've had before. But he put something in it that led to their death, unknowingly to them. Now, here's another testimony that I'm reading. Her name is Brittany, and she's an ex-friend of Isiah. They said he is definitely aware that he has been responsible for people's deaths, the money and the fun. I feel like he actually has fun from hurting people. He doesn't have any morals. His son would be in the other room crying for him. He would just turn the music up a little bit louder. Oh, so now we find out he has a child. So this is a new development. And it seems to me like he's just a neglectful father, a neglectful parent. He said he just has no morals and no feelings. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's not blind to it. The more he gets away with it, the more he gets satisfaction out of it. He definitely is aware of what he is doing by now. So those are all the testimonies right there. And from the looks of it, and I don't want to judge it based off just because of names, but I'm assuming that none of these individuals are black who are giving these testimonies. So like I said, this has escalated past just a black woman to go meet with this random white guy for a hookup. Now this guy just has a repeated pattern of hurting people just for the hell of it, and he's getting off on it and literally getting away with it. Like I said, the way this reads, he to me sounds like a narcissistic serial killer. I mean, what else can you really say to that? People are literally dying around him, and he seems to be the cause of it. And he's constantly getting away with it because they're constantly giving him the benefit of the doubt. And like I said, I would not be surprised if it came out that he had connections to those in that police department based on these stories. Now, Asia Maynard is the most recent one. All the testimonies that I have read all happened in the past. Now, they don't have a date of when this stuff actually occurred, but we'll just say it happened probably within the last 2 to 3 years because it sounds very recent. But he constantly gets away with it. And the more recent developments that have come out outside of the testimonies of his friends or his ex-friends and ex-roommates is that he has a child. We didn't know he had a child. There was nothing alluding that this man had a child, but it seems to me based on the last testimony that I read, he's neglectful. They said he had his child in the other room and had him turn the music up so the child wouldn't be aware of what he was engaging in. So he might have had his child around in his care while he was doing whatever it is he was doing. Hell, he probably had bodies dropping to the floor while his child was in the other room, unknowingly, unbeknownst to the child of what was happening. Now, they didn't mention the age of the child either. This is wild, and I'm glad that this was sent to me. Let me first off acknowledge Little Miss Firecracker for sending this article to me, because this is some very loaded information about him. And mainstream media is trying to keep this under wraps as much as they possibly can. Because now this has gone deeper than just Asia Maynard. This guy has a history, a repeated pattern of doing very evil things. And he's constantly getting away with it. I mean, look at how he's smiling in this picture. That's probably how he looks every time he does the deed. He has this Joker smile, this Joker grin showing all 32 teeth from left to right. And he's enjoying it. But eventually his little ride will come to an end. When? I'm not entirely sure. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you are new. Make sure you go ahead and hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video or go live.